that energy. Well, my name's Dan. I'm with Vote Common Good. We're going to play a little music, then we're going to hear from some of our crew, some of the candidates running for office here, and we're just going to have a good time on this Sunday. Is that all right? This is a song that reminds us that no one is free until we're all free. And if you pick it up by the end, feel free to sing along. There's a world at war, caught in suffering, silent casualties. Oh God, grant us peace. In these sleepless nights, I can hardly breathe. Despite brutality, I know that we'll be free. I know that we'll be free. So let the light in, keep it shining. Let it break into the darkness. All that love there's us to see. We'll all be free. Yeah. Let the light in, keep it shining. Let it break into the darkness. All that love there's us to see. We'll all be free. Yes, we'll all be free. In these desperate times, love will hold us here. Love will hold our hands, teach us to have no fear. So we lay our hate down to wash their feet. And when we see our brothers, oh, we'll all be free. Yeah. So let the light in, see it shining. Let it break into the darkness. All the love there's us to see. We'll all be free. Yeah. Let the light in, keep it shining. Let it break into the darkness. All that love there's us to see. We'll all be free. We'll be free. Free. We'll all be free. Oh, we'll be free. Free. We'll all be free. Yeah, we'll be free. Free. We'll all be free. Oh, we'll be free. Free. We'll all be free. Yeah. Let the light in, keep it shining. Let it break into the darkness. All that love there's us to see. We'll all be free. Let the light in, let the light in, keep it shining. Let it break into the darkness. All that love there's us to see. We'll all be free. Yeah, we'll all be free. Oh, we'll all be free.
Hey, nice to see you all today. I know you all don't know who we are, and yet you came out anyway because you want to make sure that Tina Burns is representing the good people of this district, aren't you? We got to tell you, we're so glad you're here. This is thrilling for us. We travel around the country. We've got a little message that faith, hope, and love calls us to support democracy for all on this Sunday morning. Can I get something that sounds like an amen on that one? Now, I can do that in all honesty because I've spent my life as an evangelical pastor. Now, you might not know that evangelicals, just like every other religious tradition, has all kinds of people on a wide spectrum. There's a small little group of evangelicals that are progressive, theologically, culturally, politically. We could probably all fit inside this bus, but it's a small little group of us, and we're glad to be here. But we also know there's a whole lot of people who know that their faith, that their hope, their sense of love calls them to include and not exclude. Calls them to say yes and not no, calls them to love their neighbor and not tell their neighbor that if you don't have children, you shouldn't be representing this democracy. So that's what we're doing out here. But I got to tell you, as people that have traveled around since 2018, and we've been all over this country, we believe Donald Trump is a real problem. It's part of what's motivated us to get out here. But here, I've got to tell you the truth. We're not here to tell you how bad Donald Trump is. That man is like a self-cleaning oven. He does all the work for you. You can pay attention to him and he'll let you know if you want to be voting for him or not. We're here to remind you how good you are and what your responsibilities are to join with all the other people around this country, because any one election is not just an election for the candidates, it's an action of all of us citizens. Now, no matter who wins this election, whether it's the people that own this restaurant, and I met him earlier, who said I am a gun-toting, conservative, Trump-supporting Christian conservative, but you're welcome to stay in our parking lot, or people that want to vote for the kind of candidates that many of us want to vote for. No matter who wins the election, we are all in this country together. We're all living as neighbors. This is all the people of Pennsylvania's Pennsylvania. This is all the people of the United States. So we got to figure out how to win these elections and then find a way to live with each other where everybody can feel included. And that's what my hope is for the day. Now, I'll tell you, when we drive around in this bus that says faith, hope, and love on it, we get all kinds of reactions. We were in a parking lot over in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and a man saw the bus from a parking lot away. Jumped out of his car as we were setting up and yelled, "My man!" and came running up. And as he got closer, he read the rest of the bus and then said, "Oh no, I think you're voting for Democrats. I thought you were on the good guys' side." He saw faith, hope, and love and instantly thought it must be conservatives. Another family stopped us in a parking lot and circled back around, and he came up and he said, "When we first drove by, I just grimaced because I saw faith, hope, and love, and I thought, there they are out there again." Then my wife said, "No, I think they're supporting democracy for all." And he came over and said, "I've never seen those words put together." Now look, that's a problem, right? Nobody should own faith, hope, and love. Christianity isn't owned by Republicans or Democrats. And when someone goes to a church and listens to a presidential candidate or someone that tells them that your faith demands that you only vote for Republicans, we're here to remind them that you are called to vote for whoever you are called to vote for. And that's what we're going to do. And that's why we're here. Now, we're proud. I'll tell you, I'm real biased. I'm real political about this stuff. I want Kamala Harris to be my president. I want Tina Burns to be representative in this district. That's what I want. That's what we're going to work hard to make happen. And look at all y'all out here with American flags and waving them and having such a great time. This is what we want to do. We want to say to people, join in a movement of America. Join in a movement of democracy. Join in a movement whether you're a person of faith or not. We're not asking anyone to be Christian. In fact, one of the things we're doing is resisting insurrections and confronting Christian nationalism. In fact, just tomorrow night, or tomorrow night, in Hershey, Pennsylvania, we're going to be holding a training on the threat of Christian nationalism for faith leaders, for civic leaders, for people. It's a real problem. It's a real problem that people are taking the religion that a lot of people hold dear and are using as a political wedge in order to try to run some kind of a theocracy in America. We've been saying no to Christian nationalism in America for 248 years, and we're going to keep saying it as we roll from year to year to year. So we're so glad that you're here. We're excited. As Dan said, you're going to get a little music. It's a little bit part revival. It's a little bit part political campaign. And it's going to be a little bit a whole lot of fun.
Now, Tina's going to come up and talk first. I know you already know her, and she's going to share a bit. And then after Tina's done, Mike's going to come up and talk a little bit as well. So help me welcome the next representative from PA District 124, Tina Burns.
Thank you all for coming out. I know 11 o'clock on a Sunday when you were just alerted on a Friday is not the ideal planning, and I greatly appreciate all of you for your continued support, and obviously the man that allowed us to stay in his lot and have this rally. I genuinely appreciate all of you for trying your darndest to protect our democracy. And I am currently fighting my best fight to get District 124 in our clutches, if you will, my seat in there, because there's a big difference between Jamie and I. And Jamie, I guess he's a good guy. I don't know him personally, but what I do know is he's fighting to kiss the asses of the fossil fuel industry. I'm fighting to kick their asses because for far too long they've been pillaging our land from an economy standpoint, an environmental standpoint, and they take our taxpayer dollars. I want those taxpayer dollars to come back home where they belong, to the taxpayers. So if you're looking for why him, why me, don't even look. Oh, he has an R, I have a D. That's beyond. He is for him and his fossil fuel company that he works for. I am for all of you, and not just you that are here, all of the constituents of the 124. That's who I'm for, because I'm for a new day, new way, and it's time we take our seat back now. So just one more little blurb to take back, just because we're going to be doing advertising digitally to start out in August and then continuing from there. And one thing I want to promote out there is what I'm for, and it's always hard because I'm for so much, but I'm also for common good for everyone. But I am. Oh, I didn't think common good. Thank you, guys. What I'm for. I'm a Dem, right? So D for democracy, E for equal rights for all, and M for, there's two things for M for Mother Earth, but also M for money in our pockets, not fossil fuel. Thank you all for showing up. Keep the energy going. We got this. Just because it's my privilege. This is Mike Zvalaren, and I finally, I have to say his name because I finally learned how to say it, and for the 123rd. So Mike, take it away.
How are we all doing today? All right, thank you for coming out. Thank you, Vote Common Good, for having us. And I want to talk about the common good because that's what has me running, right? Anyone know who I'm running against? Tim Twardzik, that's right, the pierogi guy. Is he out there for the common good? No, he is not, right? He's out there for school vouchers, for coupons for rich people to send their kids to private school on our dime. Is that for the common good? No, every public dollar goes to public schools. Is that for the common good? Yes! That's all right, we'll get to it. He's out there to lower corporate taxes. Corporate taxes for companies like Mrs. T's. Is that for the common good? No, that's for rich people, right? That's not what we're about. He's out there to end labor unions. Is that for the common good? No, that's the only thing standing between us and bread lines, right? A vote for me, a vote for Tina, a vote for Democrats is a vote to make sure that you are looked after, that the people are looked after, not the rich, not the donor class, right? Because what matters? The rich people? No, right? We've seen rampant inflation since COVID started. How many of you are still paying the same $10 for a package of soda? How many of you have seen that kind of increase in your salary? None of us, right? Just the CEOs. Just the guys who are making 1,000% of what you're making. Is that for the common good? No. Absolutely not, right? So that's what we're here to do. We're here to change things. We're here to put the people back in charge. Are you with me?
With you.
All right. Thank you once again for coming out. And I'm looking forward to doing these all summer long.
Yeah, man.
So again, my name's Dan, and Doug mentioned we get a little confusion when we drive around with a bus that says faith, hope, and love, and then they read the fine print that says democracy for all, and somehow that's code for not Trump. And I feel like that says more about them than us, but I do. I really take offense to the idea that one party seems to think they own faith, hope, and love. They own religion. They call themselves the party of family values, and yet they champion a man that rips families apart at the border. And I was a pastor for about 15 years, and I took some of my frustrations and put them into this song. It's called Hymn for the 81%, and it's a reference to the 81% of white evangelicals who voted for Donald Trump. And it's a bit of my story, and maybe you'll find yourself in this story too. It goes like this. I grew up in your churches, Sunday morning and evening service. I knelt in tears at the foot of the rugged cross. You taught me every life is sacred, feed the hungry and clothe the naked. I learned from you the highest law is love. And I believed you when you said I should trust the words in red to guide my steps through a wicked world. I assumed you'd do the same, so imagine my dismay when I watched you lead the sheep straight to the wolves. You said to love the lost, well, I'm loving you now. You said to speak the truth, well, I'm calling you out. Why don't you live the words that you put in my mouth? May love overcome and justice roll down. Oh, they started putting kids in cages, ripping mothers from their babies, and I looked to you to speak on their behalf. Oh, but all I heard was silence, or worse, you justified it, singing glory, hallelujah, raise the flag. See, your fear it turned to hatred, but you baptized it with language torn from the pages of the good book. You weaponized religion, and you wonder why I'm leaving to find Jesus on the wrong side of your walls. You said to love the lost, well, I'm loving you now. You said to speak the truth, well, I'm calling you out. Why don't you live the words that you put in my mouth? May love overcome and justice roll down. Come home, come home. You're better than this. Oh, you taught me better than this. Come home, come home. You're better than this. I used to think you were better than this. Come home, come home. Oh, maybe I was too naive, or I just didn't want to see that there's always been a little poison in the well. Our churches sit on stolen land, a nation built by stolen hands, and we use the Bible to justify it all. Yeah, from slavery and segregation to mass incarceration. This is who we are, but not who we have to be. There's a lot of work to do to pull up the evil by the roots, but repentance has to come before there's peace. And you said to love the lost, I'm trying to love you now. You said to speak the truth, that's why I'm calling you out. Why don't you live the words that you put in my mouth? May love overcome and justice roll down. May love overcome and justice overcome and justice roll down. Thank you so much.
We've been singing that song since about February of 2020. Dan wrote it back in 2020, and he put it up on YouTube, like a lot of people do with a song. Didn't think much of it, and all of a sudden a bunch of people started paying attention to it. In fact, if you go on YouTube now, about 750,000 views of that song. What also got picked up by Fox News and a bunch of other people who didn't think it was such a great song, and they didn't like it, and Dan's working at a church, and then pretty soon the church finds out about it, and then the church isn't interested in having him around anymore. So we had called Dan a few weeks after the video came out and said, that sounds like something we're up to, and we're going to Minneapolis for an event. Any chance you could come with us? He said, yeah, I would do that, because Dan's kind of like all of you. They just got kind of person who shows up to something, they don't know what it is, because they start with yes. You know what I'm saying? So Dan starts with yes and says, yeah, I'd love to come along with you. And then a few months later loses his job, and then says, well, I guess I have a lot more time, and he's been driving around on the bus ever since. So I'm just telling you, it gets a little dangerous when you show up around one of these things. So we're glad to have Dan on the bus. And tell you the truth, this is our Harvey Milk moment. We're here to recruit you. We want you on the bus too. Now there's a lot of ways you can get on the bus. One is if you're a little hot and we get done here, you need to jump in there for some air conditioning, climb on in just for a minute for a respite. We'd love to have you take a break in there if you're a little bit hot. But we'd also like to have your name on the bus. You can see their signatures all over the bus on both sides, fronts and backs, and people write sometimes little salutations. Now sometimes they wear off and new ones are coming on. We've been driving around since January with this bus, and people have been signing it. So before you leave, we'd love to have you sign the bus for us. And we'd also love to have you in the tank with us, because there's 4 things that get us around this country. You might know 3 of them already: faith, hope, and love. And the 4th? Well, unfortunately, it's diesel. Diesel has to push this thing around the country. So as much as we don't like it, we don't know any other way to get around. We'd love there to be an electric bus for us, but we don't have one. So if you'd help us, you make a donation over there, and it goes right in the tank. We've even got a little shirt that says, I'm in the tank with Vote Common Good. We think that's kind of cute. So the money you give doesn't go to pay us, even though this is all we're doing right now. This is all we're doing. Any money that anybody donates over there, it all goes right into that tank and gets us along. We're going over to Hershey tomorrow, then we're going to Ohio, then we're going to be in Michigan, and then we're going down to Arizona, and then we got a little work to do out in California, and then we're making our way back. We're going to be back here in Pennsylvania in the fall, and then we're in Michigan, and then we're in Wisconsin. You might say to yourself, why do you care so much about Pennsylvania? Well, you know that because you look around and see the great people of Pennsylvania. But also, you all are in a swingy district, in the swingiest state, in the swingiest election in the country's history. So it really matters. Well, the same thing's true for Michigan, the same thing for Wisconsin, the same thing for Arizona. We're going to spend a lot of time in those places. It takes a lot of effort to get there. And this is just, we're going to have 1 bus now, we're going to have 2 buses in the fall, and we're just going to keep riling people up. Now, if we've got your attention and you're saying to yourself, you know what, that sounds kind of interesting. Maybe I should think about traveling along with them. We love putting a caravan together. So if you go to votecommongood.com, on our website, you can sign up to be on our list, or also we're going to hand a little card. We'd love to have you on our email list. Maybe you've got your own little vehicle you want to drive around, follow us for a day or 2 or 3 or 100, something like that. Maybe you want to start traveling around with us. So find us somewhere and come with us. Or maybe we're back in Pennsylvania. We can have another event for Tina. We can have another event for other people running in the area, and we'd love to have you joining that. So I guess what we're here to say is, we're not just here to love you and leave you. We'd like to make a relationship out of this if you're all up for it. So if you get on our email list, go to votecommongood.com. You can do it there. See us over at the table. Give us your email. And look, you give us your email, we're going to email you. But we're not the kind of group that emails you twice a week. Don't worry about that. We send 4 a week. Honest to God, we do. We send 4 a week. But they're all worth it. We just want to stay in touch. We don't want you to forget us. We don't want to forget you. So we love staying in touch because there's a lot going on, and we send you things that you can send to friends of yours. And I just want to ask you, do you have some friends whose religion has taught them that they should only vote for Republicans? Is that true for anybody? You have people in your family like that? You know some folks? We put out a lot of material to help those people know that they have other options. And we're not telling them who to vote for. We know enough. I've been a preacher my entire adult life. I know you don't tell people what to do because they don't tend to do what you want them to do. But once people's minds start to change, they need somebody to help them along the way. They need a community of people to be involved with. They need a partner. That's what we like to do with people. It doesn't do any good to argue with people. It does a lot good to do with people who feel like they're arguing with themselves. So we love joining in with people when they have that internal argument going on and they're not sure what they want to do next. We say every first Tuesday of November, you have a chance to do the right thing. So we invite them to do the next right thing if they want to do so. So that's the kind of work we do. We'd love to have you in on it with us. Thanks. Hang out with us. We're going to be here for a little bit. We got to take all this stuff down, but we're not in any hurry. We don't have anything to do until tomorrow night. So we're going to be around here for a little bit as we get cleaned up and organizing some things. We're really glad you're part of all this, and thank you. Would you mind standing up and tell Tina and Mike that you're on their side? Tell Tina and Mike that you're ready to do the work. Tell them we got work to do. We love you to stay, but also it's time